Have you ever paused to reflect on your life's journey, perhaps wishing you had navigated certain paths differently? As we advance in years, the choices we make wield significant power, capable of either constructing a life brimming with fulfillment and purpose or gradually eroding our happiness and overall well-being. It's a fundamental truth that some missteps, seemingly minor at their inception, can accumulate over time, culminating in profound consequences such as loneliness, financial instability, and even health complications that might have been averted. This discourse aims to shed light on some of the most pervasive errors individuals commit as they age, errors that can insidiously undermine their lives. Some of these may catch you off guard, often manifesting so subtly that their detrimental effects go unnoticed until considerable harm has already transpired. However, by identifying these patterns, you empower yourself to make judicious decisions, circumvent needless regrets, and seize command of your future. Consider this not merely as a guide to sidestepping mistakes, but as a roadmap to ensuring your twilight years are replete with joy, purpose, and robust health. We will meticulously dissect these 5 prevalent errors, exploring their origins and offering strategies to navigate away from them, thereby fostering a more enriched existence. If your aspiration is to ensure you're not inadvertently impeding your own progress, then this exploration is indispensable. 1. Neglecting physical health. One of the most widespread and detrimental errors individuals commit as they age is the neglect of their physical well-being. Often, this descent commences subtly. A missed morning walk here, a preference for convenience foods over nourishing meals there. However, these seemingly inconsequential habits aggregate over time. As mobility diminishes and energy reserves dwindle, many individuals presume this decline to be an inevitable facet of aging. Yet, in reality, a substantial portion of the deterioration experienced in later life stems not merely from the passage of time, but from inactivity, inadequate nutrition, and the disregard of early indicators of health issues. If you've ever experienced stiffness after prolonged sitting or noticed a decline in your equilibrium, these are signals from your body. Irrespective of age, movement remains paramount. The less you engage in physical activity, the more arduous it becomes to sustain an active lifestyle. Before long, mundane tasks such as rising from a chair, ascending stairs, or even reaching for an item on a high shelf become challenging. Weakened muscles engender impaired balance, thereby heightening the susceptibility to falls, a grave peril for seniors. A solitary fall can precipitate injuries that necessitate months of recuperation or, in certain instances, irrevocably alter one's quality of life. Consider Henry, a 74-year-old who initially regarded himself as reasonably healthy. However, he gradually curtailed his daily walks. Within months, he observed that prolonged standing induced fatigue, and his knees commenced to ache. By the time he resolved to resume exercising, he had forfeited a substantial degree of strength, and even brief walks left him breathless. Regaining his former fitness level required months of dedicated effort, and he frequently lamented his initial deceleration. Another prevalent issue lies in the neglect of dietary considerations. Numerous seniors labor under the misconception that, owing to reduced food intake, they need not prioritize nutrition. However, as the body ages, it paradoxically necessitates a greater intake of specific nutrients, such as protein to preserve muscle mass, calcium to bolster bone health, and fiber to facilitate digestion. A dietary regimen characterized by highly processed foods, skipped meals, or reliance on quick snacks can engender deficiencies that induce lethargy, compromise the immune system, and contribute to chronic ailments such as diabetes and hypertension. Moreover, neglecting routine checkups poses another hazard with potentially dire ramifications. Many individuals eschew visits to the doctor unless they perceive a grave ailment. However, routine screenings can detect nascent problems, rendering them more amenable to treatment. Hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, and even early manifestations of osteoporosis frequently manifest without overt symptoms. Consequently, by the time an individual discerns a problem, irreversible damage may have already occurred. Proactive health management necessitates vigilance, not merely reactive intervention upon the emergence of insurmountable problems. The encouraging aspect is that instigating change is perpetually feasible. Even modest enhancements, such as incorporating 15 minutes of walking into your daily routine or substituting processed foods with fresh, whole ingredients, can yield substantial benefits. Strength training, even with light weights or resistance bands, can aid in preserving muscle mass and averting frailty. Prioritizing regular health checkups can facilitate the detection of problems before they escalate into severe conditions. Attending to your physical well-being transcends merely staving off aging. It entails ensuring your capacity to persist in the activities you cherish for as long as possible. 2. Isolating from friends and family. One of the most poignant errors individuals commit as they age is the withdrawal from social connections. Initially, this detachment may appear innocuous, perhaps foregoing certain social gatherings, curtailing phone calls, or presuming others are too preoccupied to visit. However, this gradual isolation can insidiously culminate in loneliness, depression, and an accelerated decline in both mental and physical health. Humans are inherently social creatures, and maintaining connections transcends mere companionship. It fosters a sense of purpose, engagement, and emotional equilibrium. Numerous seniors operate under the fallacy that loneliness is an unavoidable consequence of aging, a notion demonstrably fallacious. Research has elucidated that social isolation can exert a comparable impact on health as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. It elevates the risk of cardiovascular ailments, compromises the immune system, and has even been correlated with an elevated propensity for developing dementia. When the brain lacks regular stimulation through conversations, shared experiences, and emotional bonds, its functionality decelerates, thereby augmenting the likelihood of memory impairment and cognitive decline. Consider Dorothy, a 76-year-old who progressively ceased communication with her acquaintances. She rationalized that they were likely engrossed in their own families and that she ought not intrude. Weeks morphed into months, and before she realized, she was spending the majority of her days in solitude, with only the television as company. She experienced a diminution in vitality, a sombering of her disposition, and a decline in her motivation to pursue activities she once relished. However, upon making a concerted effort to reconnect, phoning an old friend, enrolling in a local book club, and inviting her grandchildren over more frequently, her entire outlook underwent a metamorphosis. She felt more involved, content, and even observed enhancements in her memory and energy levels. Another misjudgment lies in solely relying on family for social interaction. While family undoubtedly holds significance, expecting them to constitute the exclusive source of companionship can occasionally culminate in disappointment. Loved ones bear their own obligations, underscoring the importance of cultivating a network of friends, neighbors, or community members with whom to engage. Maintaining multiple avenues for social interaction fosters a more enriched and gratifying existence, ensuring against feelings of abandonment should family members be unavailable. Technology has rendered staying connected more facile than ever before. Yet, numerous seniors eschew it, deeming it overwhelming or unfamiliar. However, embracing rudimentary tools such as video calls, social media platforms, or even voice messages can facilitate the maintenance of meaningful connections, particularly when in-person visits are impracticable. Acquiring proficiency in these tools transcends merely keeping abreast of trends. It ensures you are not relegated to the margins in an increasingly digitalized world. The encouraging aspect is that rekindling connections is perpetually viable. Joining a club, volunteering, attending local events, or simply resolving to telephone a friend weekly can yield profound transformations. The objective is not to maintain an excessively bustling social calendar, but to cultivate meaningful relationships that sustain mental acuity, emotional gratification, and engagement with the broader world. 3. Refusing to adapt to change. One of the paramount errors individuals commit as they age is resisting change. Whether pertaining to technology, lifestyle modifications, or evolving social mores, numerous seniors staunchly resist adaptation. Change can engender discomfort, and after decades of adhering to a particular way of life, it's understandable to feel averse to acquiring new knowledge. However, resisting adaptation does not impede the progression of the world. It merely renders life more exasperating and isolating. Many individuals operate under the assumption that novel technologies are exclusively intended for younger generations. Yet, in contemporary society, maintaining connectivity frequently hinges on a willingness to learn. Whether entailing utilizing a smartphone, comprehending online banking, or mastering video calls, these skills transcend mere conveniences. They are becoming indispensable. When seniors decline to embrace even fundamental digital tools, they often find themselves excluded from pivotal conversations, grappling with mundane tasks that could be streamlined or rendered more susceptible to scams owing to a lack of comprehension. Consider Albert, a 78-year-old who steadfastly refused to utilize a smartphone, asserting that his antiquated flip phone sufficed. However, over time, he discerned that his grandchildren were communicating via group chats in which he could not partake. His bank initiated online access prerequisites for certain services, and he forfeited myriad conveniences that could have ameliorated his existence. Ultimately, he resolved to afford technology an opportunity. With a modicum of patience, he acquired proficiency in texting, utilizing video calls, and even ordering groceries online. What commenced as a grudging endeavor rapidly evolved into something that enriched his life in unanticipated ways. Another manifestation of resistance to change involves clinging to antiquated habits, even when superior alternatives exist. This may entail an unwillingness to modify dietary habits to enhance health, disregarding contemporary safety precautions within the home, or even dismissing novel medical advice on the grounds that it diverges from prior counsel. The conviction that "this is how I've always done it" can prove perilous, particularly when more efficacious, secure, and effective alternatives are accessible. Change also transpires within relationships, and a refusal to adapt can engender estrangement between family members. Younger generations espouse divergent modes of communication, values, and lifestyles. Rather than censoring or resisting these disparities, embracing them with an open mind can fortify relationships rather than alienate individuals. Numerous seniors discover that upon relinquishing expectations that circumstances mirror their past and commenced engagement with the world as it exists, they feel more interconnected and less disillusioned. Adapting to change does not necessitate surrendering one's identity. Rather, it entails cultivating the requisite flexibility to sustain forward momentum. The world is not regressing, and the more receptive you are to learning, adapting, and evolving, the more autonomous and gratified you will be. Embracing novel approaches is perpetually feasible, and the more amenable you are, the more readily you will discern that change is not a cause for trepidation, but a catalyst for unforeseen joy and opportunity in your life. 4. Mismanaging finances. One of the most devastating errors individuals commit as they age is failing to manage their finances prudently. It's easy to assume that financial considerations diminish in significance with advancing age, particularly upon retirement and the establishment of savings or retirement funds. However, financial mismanagement, whether manifested as overspending, underestimating prospective expenses, or neglecting contingency planning, can swiftly transmute what should be a period of tranquility into one characterized by stress, struggle, and dependence on others. Numerous seniors succumb to the fallacy that their financial resources are inexhaustible, only to belatedly realize that medical expenditures, inflation, or unforeseen contingencies erode their savings more rapidly than anticipated. It's not solely about amassing wealth, but ensuring its longevity. Even those who enjoyed financial stability during their younger years can encounter difficulties if they fail to adjust their spending patterns to correspond with their altered life stage. Consider Richard, a 72-year-old who indulged in unrestrained spending upon retirement, presuming his savings sufficient to sustain a carefree existence. He embarked on excursions, bestowed gifts upon his grandchildren, and frequented restaurants regularly. However, by his late 70s, he discerned a depletion of his savings, the accumulation of medical bills, and a failure to account for long-term care expenses. Confronted with circumscribed options, he was compelled to rely on his children for financial assistance, an outcome he had vehemently sought to avert. Had he exercised greater fiscal prudence earlier, he could have extended his savings and preserved his financial autonomy. Another misstep seniors perpetrate lies in failing to sustain financial planning. Many operate under the presumption that, upon retirement, the exigency for investment strategies, budgeting, or financial recalibrations dissipates. However, financial management constitutes a lifelong undertaking, and even in advanced age, judicious financial decisions can profoundly influence the comfort and serenity of one's existence. Monitoring expenditures, comprehending the pecuniary requisites of healthcare, and devising strategies for prospective long-term care can forestall financial tribulations in the future. Seniors constitute prime targets for scams, and one of the most heartbreaking manners in which individuals forfeit their financial security involves misplaced trust. Telephonic swindles, email deceptions, and even manipulative individuals masquerading as financial advisors can deplete life savings instantaneously. Numerous seniors were reared in an era characterized by heightened trust, a vulnerability exploited by scammers. Acquiring proficiency in identifying financial scams, eschewing unsolicited offers, and enlisting a trusted financial advisor or family member to vet consequential financial decisions can avert devastating losses. Financial security in advanced age does not hinge on opulence, but on sagacity. Formulating a lucid budget, exercising mindfulness regarding superfluous expenditures, and strategizing for prospective expenses can ensure the sustainability of one's financial resources. Implementing adjustments is perpetually feasible, and even modest financial alterations can signify the disparity between tranquility and financial duress. 5. Ignoring mental growth and purpose. One of the most overlooked yet transformative errors individuals commit as they age is relinquishing personal growth and forfeiting their sense of purpose. Numerous seniors embrace the mindset that, subsequent to retirement, the epoch for learning, goal setting, or contributing to the world has elapsed. However, possessing a compelling reason to anticipate each day, whether manifested as a hobby, a passion, or a novel challenge, constitutes one of the most pivotal determinants in sustaining mental acuity, emotional gratification, and physical well-being. A prevalent quandary involves the conviction that mental decline is an inexorable consequence of aging. While the aging process engenders alterations, the brain retains its capacity for learning, adaptation, and the formation of novel connections throughout life. The genuine peril lies not in age itself, but in inactivity. When seniors cease engaging in mentally stimulating activities, their cognitive faculties decelerate. Studies have evinced that individuals who persist in learning, whether through reading, solving puzzles, or acquiring novel skills, exhibit a significantly diminished propensity for cognitive decline. Consider Linda, a 70-year-old who once exuded vivacity and inquisitiveness. However, subsequent to retirement, she found herself predominantly watching television, lamenting that her zenith had passed. Over time, she experienced augmented forgetfulness, a waning interest in conversations, and a diminished engagement with life. However, she subsequently resolved to enroll in an art class at a local community center, an undertaking she had never previously pursued. Therein, she experienced a resurgent sense of purpose, an augmented mental acuity, and even forged new friendships. Another substantial misstep involves failing to discern a rationale for commencing each day. Numerous seniors dedicate decades to labor, familial responsibilities, and managing obligations, only to discover themselves disoriented upon the abatement of those roles. Absent a sense of purpose, ennui and depression can rapidly ensue. Possessing a reason to remain engaged, whether through volunteering, mentoring younger generations, cultivating a garden, or even authoring a book, engenders structure, motivation, and fulfillment in daily life. Some seniors eschew novel pursuits, apprehensive of failure, or laboring under the misconception that it is too late. However, age bears no correlation to the capacity for learning. Certain of the most inspiring narratives originate from individuals who embarked on new careers, acquired new languages, or adopted hobbies in their 70s, 80s, or even 90s. Growth does not cease upon attaining a specific age. It ceases upon desisting from striving. Maintaining mental engagement and cultivating a sense of purpose transcends merely elevating mood. It exerts an impact on longevity, cognitive function, and even physical health. Individuals who persist in challenging themselves, sustaining curiosity, and identifying novel avenues for contributing to the world around them lead more gratified and purposeful lives. Irrespective of age, your intellect remains amenable to growth and your existence retains significance. The crux lies in sustaining anticipation, perpetuating learning, and never acceding to the belief that your zenith lies in the past. Final thoughts. Having traversed these 5 prevalent errors, now is the opportune moment to contemplate which among them might be impinging upon your own existence or the lives of those within your ambit. Aging transcends mere chronological progression. It encompasses the choices that ascertain whether your twilight years will be replete with joy, purpose, and autonomy, or burdened by disillusionment and remorse. The encouraging aspect is that circumventing these errors does not necessitate radical transformations. Modest recalibrations in your methodology towards health, relationships, mindset, and finances can yield a substantial augmentation in your holistic well-being. If you have been neglecting your physical health, now is the moment to prioritize movement, adopt salutary dietary habits, and diligently pursue routine checkups. If you have been isolating yourself, endeavor to reconnect with former acquaintances, cultivate nascent relationships, and embrace technology to sustain engagement. If you have been resisting change, remind yourself that adaptation does not entail forfeiting your essence, but equipping yourself with the instruments to sustain autonomy and connectivity in a rapidly evolving world. Should financial matters engender trepidation, undertake proactive measures to ensure security, curtail superfluous expenditures, and shield yourself from financial vulnerabilities. And if you have forfeited your sense of purpose, commence modestly. Peruse a book, attempt a novel undertaking, or identify a means to impart your sagacity and experience to the encompassing world. The choices you enact today will sculpt the caliber of your existence in the ensuing years. It is perpetually feasible to assume command, enact more judicious decisions, and ensure that your concluding years constitute some of your most exceptional. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.